What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today is mining rig build day. I'm excited, but before we get into the entire parts list, we did get two care packages I wanted to open at the top of this video. So these came to us from the crew over at Crypty.co. I'll put a link down below for you guys to go ahead and check them out. But let's go ahead and open these up. We've gotten quite a few packages from them in the past, so I'm excited to see. Oh, check it out. We got a Bitcoin beanie. That's awesome. Dude, we're set for winter. What's this one? Oh, Ergo. We got like a little Ergo t-shirt. So it has a little spaceman on it. That's cool. What else do we have in here? Ah, look at that guy. This is a Bitcoin t-shirt. Look at that. He's got like the little mining hat on. I like how you can't see his eyes, but then you have a mustache. Is that supposed to be me? All right, let's see. I don't have a mustache. And oh, a Raven coin t-shirt. This is cool. All right, that's pretty sweet. And then let's see. We'll open these up in just a quick second. And then let's see what we have in here. This is probably a mug. Yes, it is. Just based off of the box, which I don't know how these survive shipping in the United States. It's ridiculous. Oh, can I get this out one-handed? Hang on, I'm gonna try. We're trying here as I toss you guys around. There we go. Okay. Gosh, doing this one-handed is ridiculous. Okay, now that you've gone for a tour, yes, look at that. I actually have a Bitcoin one, and now it actually has coffee in it. Here, let me get it real quick. Check it out. It's got coffee in there. It's cold too, but I'll probably drink it. It's even got some coffee. Look at the slob. We got some coffee on there. But look, coffee, and now we have a Raven coin one. This is awesome. Let me go ahead, open up these t-shirts real quick, and then we'll go over our parts list. Okay, the crew over at Crypty.co definitely hooked us up. That's a pretty cool Raven coin. I like all the little birds on there. That's pretty neat. Look at this guy. I think this is my favorite so far. Look at this little miner. It's awesome. I love it. You know who that reminds me of? That looks like Red Fox Crypto right there. There's our Ergo t-shirt, and then we got our Bitcoin beanie and our Raven coin hat. All right, so let's go ahead and get these, trying to get these out of the way real quick, and we'll do a full parts breakdown of what we have in front of us, guys. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you very much to Crypty.co. I'll put a discount code down below if you guys are interested. Get you 10% off your order. Once again, none of that 10% commission or anything goes to me. I've asked them to not send me any commission. It's just for you guys and the community. Okay, so let's start down here. We have our Veta frame here, and we are running a 650 watt EVG fully modular power supply, as well as a 1200 watt HP power supply, and we also have a full 12 slot PCIe breakout board. We are running some Roswell Delta fans that we'll be installing, and those will go right on the outside here. And we do have a 1-to-5 splitter for our fans as well. Coming over here, there's the EVGA 650 watt. It's a bronze, but we got it with a GPU purchase, so we might as well put it to use, right? So let's go to this motherboard real quick. So the motherboard and the AMD heatsink, we went ahead, and it's actually a Cooler Master, which is nice, came with a MSI RX 580 that I bought secondhand off of Facebook Marketplace. So I've been looking for a reason to use this board. So this is a B450M motherboard, and it actually has wireless integrated with it, and that's one of the reasons why I was eager to get it, because this rig will be going in mine and my wife's spare bedroom above our garage that doesn't have any heat. So this rig, this Flux mining rig, if I haven't mentioned that already, yes, we're using all of these for Flux. Super excited. So this motherboard came with it. It only has 2 PCI slots, so we are going to use the AAA Wave 1 to 4 USB multipliers, and we also have it, if we need it, for some reason, we do have one of the M2 to USB headers that we can install right here if we want to get another slot as well. So that came with this heatsink that we were talking about. The CPU we're putting in, I tried to find something that wasn't super expensive. It's crazy how expensive some of these AMD processors are right now. And I found it used offline here, off of Newegg, off of their like refurbs. And it's an AMD Athlon 200GE. So we do have that we're installing. We won't be doing any CPU mining with that, but that's okay. I did get a pack of power buttons recently. I do need to replace a few of mine. If you guys need these, I'll put the link down below to them. Memory here, we are using the G.Skill. This is, I believe it's 3200. Looks like, yeah, 3200. And it's DDR4. And this is 8 gigs. 8 gigs is not required. It's just what I found on sale. So I thought I might as well throw it in there. We are using a GPUrisers.com solid state drive. Shout outs to them for supplying this for us. It's a 64 gigabyte solid state drive. The iFixit kit will be used in this build, but we are not, is not necessary. We are using the GPUrisers.com risers. These are the 8 capacitor risers, as well as the PCI card that is the indicator on it. Thank you and shout out to GPU Risers for providing that to us. We are also using the GPUrisers.com splitters. These are 8-pin to 6+2. I have the 2 just tied off right now. So we have a whole bunch of those, as well as PCI cables. So I think that's all of the parts. I'll get onto the GPUs here in just a second. If you guys are wondering about any of this, I'm actually going to put a full parts list down below in the description. So check down there for the entire parts list. If you guys are looking to pick up anything that I used, or you want to build the same rig that I'm building, everything will be listed down below for you. So let's talk about our cards. So I'm going to start over here on the right, actually, because this one I've used in some of my other videos. This is the RTX 2060 Founders Edition. We have showed this off in some previous videos. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner and down below to a full hash rate and power consumption video for this. This card we got from Red Fox Crypto quite a few months back. This is, he gifted it to us, and this is the 1070 Ti. And we've done a video on this as well. If you're interested, I'll put that down below too. Now these three I just purchased from Red Fox Crypto 2 weeks ago. I actually went out to his place. We did a crypto mining farm tour of his setup, and then we actually purchased these from him. So I'll put a link to that as well if you guys want to check that out. That was a blast. Him and I have already been chatting a little bit about getting together again, so I'm super excited. So these are another 1070 Ti, another 1070 Ti, and a EVGA 1070. Will that focus? There we go, 1070 Ti. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 1070 Ti's that we're putting in, as well as the 2060. And then we are going to be grabbing this guy, which I did a video in just the other day, and pulling this out of our test bench. This is the 2060 Super by Gigabyte. So we should do pretty good between all of these with hash rate on Flux. The 1070s, I think, are around 40. So I think we'll have 40, 80, I'm just taking estimates here, 120, then 40, 50, 60, 160, and then I think this one will do up there as well, around between 40 and 50, so we'll say another 40 there. So we should be mid 200s, maybe 300 souls on Flux with this entire build. I estimated about 200 watts per GPU, which is entirely overkill, but that at least allows me to have some space for growth. So we have our 1200 watt plus our 650, that gives us 1850. 20% of that, we have plenty of headway, because you're only supposed to use about 20%. You're not supposed to max out your power supplies. You want to keep it safe within that 80% mark. So I have a lot of work to do, and I'm not going to film this entire build. If you guys are interested in a rig build step by step with description and details and instruction, I have a number of GPU mining rig builds that I've done in the past. I'll put a link to the playlist down below, but there is one that I recommend. It's an hour-long video, and it is literally step-by-step recording everything. I will put a link to that for you guys. If you guys are new to mining, you have a few questions, you want to see how a mining rig is exactly put together, cable by cable, piece by piece, go ahead and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my cold cup of coffee, and we are going to build ourselves a Flux 6 GPU mining rig. I'll see you guys in a few minutes, and I'll introduce you guys to my new rig. So it's finally built, guys. The rig is done. It has been about 2 days and about 4 hours of troubleshooting, but it's done. So let me go ahead and give you a quick tour of everything, and then we'll talk about what trouble I ran into. Hopefully it educates and helps one person out there. And yeah, then we'll go ahead and get this plugged in, and we'll get this hashing. So let's see. So we have all of our cards across the top here. We have our 4 1070s. We did our EVGA on the end here. And then we also have our 1070 and then our 2060 here on the end, which is our hottest card, being the Founders Edition. This one's our 2060 Super. So we did end up going with our splitters here. These are from AAA Wave. If you guys are interested in these, I'll put a link down below. Actually, I think I'll put a link down below to everything. I'm gonna do a full parts list down below of everything we used. So our board, our B250M ASRock board, has built-in Wi-Fi, so that is set up and good to go. HIVEOS recognized it right away, and we got set up on our wireless, and we are using pure wireless, as this will end up being in a spare bedroom where there is no wired connection. We do have our cooling fans in the back here. They're all set and good to go. I did connect them into the chassis fan port, so all 5 of these wire into a splitter, and then that one splitter goes into the chassis fan header, and I went into the BIOS and set that to full speed to get the most airflow, and we're pushing the air across and out the front is the way that we have these set up currently, just with the way that everything is designed. Let me go ahead and get this spun around here. Try not to lose it in the meantime. Okay, so got everything spun around. So talking about PCI, so we did 2 cards on our PCI coming out of our 650 watt power supply. The rest of the PCI are coming out of the breakout board. They're all using your standard PCI cables except for this one. So in order to make sure that this wasn't crazy taut, and I wanted the ability to wire manage it with the Velcro, this is an extra long PCI cable. They are like 3 feet long or something from Parallel Miners. The rest of these are just your standard cables. I think that's like what, not 12 inches. Maybe it's a little bit longer. Yeah, I think they're a little, I think they're 20, 19 to 20. And then these are like 27, 30 maybe, 32, I'm not sure exactly. And then we do have our blue USB cables. We had to go with blue as we will be mining Flux with this rig. Other than that, oh, here's the fans. All the fans are coming down off the top of here into this lovely cluster. And then one cable goes into our chassis header, fan header on the board. Other than that, that's really it. You can see we got our fans across the top here. They look great. I did put the grills on the front of these fans. You don't have to, but it's only because it's going to be in a spare bedroom, and my kids, I have 3 kids running around, just to kind of, one less thing for them to stick their fingers in, if I can so help it. But I want to kind of put this rig up out of the way to make sure my kids don't get into it at all. Other than that, our rig, that's it. So let's talk about challenges, because you can't have a mining rig without challenges unless you're Red Panda Mining, you know, because all his rigs come together perfectly and he never has any issues. So what I ran into is, so it has 2 PCI slots, and that we have these AAA Wave PCI cards in. And when I went and booted this for the first time, You know, I booted it without the cards connected, made sure HIVEOS worked. Then what happened was I went ahead and booted with 4 cards first, and they all came up, so I was like, great. I then went, or 3 cards, then when I tried to do the last 3 cards, it didn't work. So I was like, okay, let me try 5 cards total. 5 cards worked. Whenever I tried 6 cards, and I had a monitor connected to the HDMI port here, it would throw an error of like it was like unable to load kernel or something like that. It got past the first boot screen of HIVEOS, that blue box, and it said unable to boot kernel, load kernel. So I spent so much time researching this and looking into this, couldn't find it anywhere. I did my research and found that this motherboard, this is an ASRock B450M. I've said it multiple times. Well, the BIOS is actually a CyberPower. CyberPower is a aftermarket PC brand. They build PCs and then they resell the PCs at a markup value. So CyberPower, whoever I bought this motherboard from, it came with the heatsink and also a 580 card. They must have tore down a CyberPower, and so the BIOS was very stripped down. It was not a traditional ASRock B450. It was stripped down. So I spent 4 hours or more trying to go through this BIOS, and every time I went to go like find something, I couldn't find it in this CyberPower BIOS. But I could find online. I found it on the ASRock B450M, but it wasn't on this CyberPower one. I actually emailed and reached out to CyberPower for help. I didn't hear anything back, unfortunately. And I pretty much gave up on this. I spent so much time on it. Then earlier today, I had an hour of time, and I had a thought, and I was like, okay, so these 5 cards all came up, but my last card didn't. And I was plugged into the integrated onboard, which was using the AMD there Raven. So I was like, can I get rid of that AMD Raven? Because it get rid of that in HIVEOS. So I started to backtrack, got into the BIOS, the CyberPower BIOS, and I found where it had the integrated graphics and it was turned on. So I turned it off, and I found this weird right below it, like 4G, I forget what it was like UAMUG, and I was like, I don't know what the heck this is, but I'm hoping this is like 4G decoding. And so I enabled it. So I disabled integrated graphics, I enabled this 4G variable, rebooted, and I didn't get any signal on the monitor when I was plugged into the HDMI port. So I was like, okay, let me plug directly into this guy's HDMI. I plug in, and lo and behold, all my cards worked. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyways, enough talking. Hopefully my little story time there helps out one of you that has the same problem that I did. Let me go ahead and get this rig installed in the bottom rack over there. I am going to continue to run on wireless. We have 2 power cables set up, one for our ATX, one for our power supply, and we'll get this booted and I'll show you guys what I'm getting on Flux. So if you guys are interested in a step-by-step guide on how to mine Flux, a little bit more information about Flux and parallel assets, how to set up a Flux wallet, and then finally a 500 Flux giveaway. I'll put the link down below to this video that I did this past week. Flux has blown up, guys. Go ahead and take a look. I hope you're mining it. And hey, if you're interested, enter the Flux giveaway. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the newest rig in my farm. I have labeled this Flux rig Beast. It's blue, it's mining Flux. I name all of my mining rigs based off of X-Men characters, and so we have Beast. So here we have it. We are running Mini Z currently right now. If you guys are curious on my flight sheet, I have found Mini Z to be the highest hashing miner out there. I tried a few of them, LOL miner, G miner. Mini Z seems to do the best on Flux. In addition to that, we are of course on minerpool.org. We've had great success with them. I'm very happy with their team. So let's talk about our hash rate. So we're just over 260 souls. We're at our power consumption. Now this is just HIVEOS, puts us at 888. So let's add to that because HIVEOS is not accurate. let's say we're about 1,000 watts total. So looking at our cards, our 1070s are ranging from 41.7 souls down to, what do you got, 40.98. We have, and those are the 2070 Ti's. Our 2060 is at 40.13 souls. And finally, our 2060 Super, man, look at this guy, 53.63 souls. Now, I've been playing around with the overclock settings quite a bit, and I could really get super granular, and I even looked at locking the core. There's some value to that. For all intents and purposes for this video, we're going to do some plain Jane overclock settings. So a lot of these will have 150 on my core, the memories at 750, and then the watts are at 150. Now, I have seen success. You have to play with your card, see what it likes with going with the core of 100 and then the memory of 500 and your power limit of 150. I did do some testing with this card here. This is the 2060 Super. It's set at 150 power limit. I was able to go ahead and drop this down to about 120 for the power limit, and that dropped things a lot. And I did play a little bit around with this, but I had better stability with these numbers. Now I know our power consumption is rather high, and there's definitely room for improvement. Trust me, I know that. But this ends up giving me stability and allows us to get this video out there and to get this rig up and running. We'll definitely improve this in the near future. So let's go ahead and go over to what to mine and take a look and see what we're making per day. Okay, so we're over on what to mine. We've selected Flux. I put in my hash rate. We'll put 260. It fluctuates. We'll put 260. Our power, we're just estimating right now at 1,000 watts, and our cost is 0.057. If you're pulling your hair out trying to understand why my cost is so low for electricity, I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner and a link down below that explains my electricity situation and why it is so low. So at that current rate, that puts us at a revenue of $19.38 per day with a cost of electricity of $1.37. So we could definitely improve this. In the end, we end up with a profit of $18.01. If we look at that per month, that's giving us $540.35 per month. That is insane. So if we break out our handy dandy calculator here, we just do 18.01 times 365 days. This rig is making us $6,573.65 per year mining Flux. That is a home run in my book. That is crazy, crazy, guys, crazy. All right, that's gonna wrap things up for this video. I am so stoked to be able to say that I have my first 6 GPU Flux mining rig mining at 260 souls. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. It's been a little bit longer of a video, but I appreciate you guys staying and hanging this long. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.